Good morning, everyone, and happy 2021. I hope you had a good New Year's. We had a pretty low-key one because, of course, still pandemic, you know, but it was nice to welcome a new year. I do really always love New Year's, specifically because I get to do like goals and starting a notebook and stuff. So I went back and looked at my goals for this year, and they're actually quite funny. So yay, love 2020 for us. But I am here with my first TBR of the new year, which I'm very excited about. I had an amazing reading month in December. I'll link my wrap up here. So a lot of these are going to be sequels to books I read last month. But I think it was the most books I've ever read in a month that I can remember, like since I've been tracking. So that worked out pretty well for me. In January, let's see how many books I have on here. I've got 16 books on my TBR, and I usually read like 20 minimum. So I like to leave a little bit of room for like stuff that I didn't think of. I've also got some things on here that fit the requirements for my 2021 reading goals, which is a separate video. I'm not sure if that's going up before or after this one, but anyway. I'll kind of explain the logic behind why I've picked all these books. So, I have all the books. Ooh. No spoilers. I have all the books here, so I'll kind of turn them around as I talk about them. And there's a couple that I don't have with me, so I'm referring to my notebook as well. I'm also filming in like my actual reading corner today because the lighting is only good in my library, like first thing in the morning and then in the evening, and that's never when I'm filming. So we're trying this out. I hope the lighting and the sound is okay. I don't know what I'm doing, so we're trying our best. First up is The Glass Sentence by S.E. Grove. That is a lie. It's The Golden Specific by S.E. Grove. I keep mixing up like what the name of the series is and what the name of the book is, or like books 1 and 2 or something. Anyway, I read The Glass Sentence in December and absolutely loved it. It's like a new 5-star all-time favorite middle grade series. Basically, it's set in a world where there was like this great catastrophe, I guess, and all of the continents and like different parts of continents have been thrown into different periods in time. So there's like explorers who navigate between these different time periods, and it's so cool. It's like one of the most fascinating worlds I've ever read about, and because it's middle grade, it's so easy to catch on to. Let my cat in. I guarantee now that I let her in, she's gonna cause havoc. So that'll be fun. But anyway, I'm really excited to get into this one. It's also got these beautiful beveled edges, and they're just such good books, and I can't believe I've never heard of them before. They're like a little bit reminiscent of The Golden Compass, not because the plots are similar at all, just because the like world building and the writing style kind of reminds me of The Golden Compass. So yeah, I've had a hard time finding the third book in hardcover, but I am gonna try to, but I'm only reading book 2 next month, so I've got time. Speaking of The Golden Compass, my read of that book really made me want to read The Golden Compass. So here it is. I also really want to watch the HBO adaptation of His Dark Materials because I'm still really bitter about the terrible movie. So, of course, in bookworm fashion, I have to reread the book before I watch the show. Also, wow, I feel old. This says on it, a major motion picture, holiday 2007. That's upsetting to me. Anyway, I got these new hardcover versions of these books, which I'm really excited about. It was a steal on Facebook Marketplace. I think the girl mistakenly undercharged me, but that's fine. So if you don't know what The Golden Compass is about, where have you been? It's about a girl named Lyra who lives in a world where everyone has kind of like an animal companion who's like the other half of them, called a daemon. I'm never sure how it's pronounced. This is one of my all-time favorite books, and I'm so excited to reread it. It's technically middle grade, but stands up so well for adults, and I can't wait. So next up is one of the series that I talked about in my video about the series that I want to read next year, and I said I was going to either start with this one or the David Bad trilogy. And I've settled on this one just because I keep hearing people talk about it and I need to understand the references. And that is The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. So I got the first 2 books for so cheap on Book Outlet, which is amazing, and I have the third one from work. But this follows a girl named Rin who gets accepted into a military academy. It's inspired by Chinese history, and I've heard nothing but amazing things. I'm really excited to get into like kind of a dark adult fantasy. I feel like that mood is good right now because I've been reading a lot of young adult and middle grade. So yeah, I've got The Poppy War. Funny story about this one. Dragon Republic arrived with this sticker that says signed copy, and I was like, oh my god, amazing, because I got it for Book Outlet for like $10. I don't see a signature. So either I'm crazy or the sticker was there in error, but I'm gonna leave it on because it makes it look more important. Anyway, I have it. And then The Burning God. These books are just so beautiful, and I was gonna buy the paperbacks because financially that would have made more sense, but I just don't like them. I don't think they're pretty, so I went for the fancy hardcovers, but I did get them all at a discount, so it's fine. Luna is now staring at the cord to my microphone, and I'm like, don't eat it. Don't do it. Okay, next up, I'm gonna start 2 series from that same series video this month, but probably not finish them unless I really feel inspired to do so. So this is just here to represent Fury Born by Claire Legrand. This is the second book, and I'm still waiting for the first one. These, I don't know what they're about. I think it's 2 different queens in different time periods. But yeah, it's all over TikTok, and they sound amazing, and I can't wait. So I had to put the first book on here. I wanted to put them all, and then I was like, these are big books. So we're aiming for book 1. We'll see. I'm also planning to start the All Souls trilogy by Deborah Harkness. So this is book 1, A Discovery of Witches. I just feel like this is such a good winter vibe. It follows a girl named Diana, who is a historian, and a witch at Oxford University. And I think she falls in love with a vampire, and that's all I know, and it's all I need to know. I also want to watch the show, but again, have to read the book before I watch the show. So yeah, I feel as though I might read this and then immediately want to read the second one, but this one is on here and I can't wait. I also have one random thriller on here because I just feel like every month there's one day where I'm really in the mood for a thriller and I wanted to put one on my TBR. So that is In a Dark, Dark Wood by Ruth Ware. So I read The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware and absolutely loved it. I've learned from my Goodreads that I did also read The Lion Game and didn't like it. Apparently I gave it 2 stars, which is very aggressive for like pre-YouTube me. But I've heard pretty good things about this one. I think it's a bachelorette party. Yeah, like a weekend away in an eerie glass house. Okay, I loved her other one because the house was so creepy, so I feel like this is going to be good. I just can't wait to curl up with this, maybe by my parents' fireplace. I'll go there specifically to read this book. But yeah, I just want a thriller, and this is the one I picked. So I read the first book in Lux Beginnings this month by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is a bind up of books 1 and 2. So I read Lux Obsidian, and now I need to read Lux Onyx. They are both like 350 pages, so I was kind of thinking I was going to read both of them as one book, but I had a lot of books to read in December. So book 2 is getting bumped to January. These follow a girl named Katie who moves in next door to a very handsome man named Damon. It must be Damon. It's spelled the same as Demon from The Golden Compass, so I get really confused. Anyway, they have a bizarre connection. It's okay. This is literally Twilight, but with a different, like, paranormal creature. And I would have read these so much sooner if someone told me that they were like a carbon copy of Twilight. Because I mean that in the best way. Like, that is a compliment of the highest order for me. It's not a criticism. So, yeah, I've read Twilight so many times that it's so nice to have, like, the same thing but new, and I love these. The next 2 books are 2 Dark Reigns and 5 Dark Fates by Kendara Blake. I pre-ordered 5 Dark Fates in the paperback version because I have all the other books in paperback. So I'll just borrow that one from my library once I get there, but 2 Dark Reigns is obviously next up. These are books 3 and 4 in the 3 Dark Crowns series, which I loved. Like, 3 Dark Crowns is now one of my favorite books, and I was not expecting that. A lot of reviews are like, you know, some are really good, but there's a lot of average ones. So I thought it was just going to be okay, and I loved it. I've already read like the prequel novella, and I can't wait to read this one. It follows 3 queens who they're basically born, and they know that they're going to have to kill each other when they turn 16, and whoever survives becomes the queen until she has her own triplets, and it kind of goes on and on. The setting is amazing. The writing is beautiful. I've also been listening to them like with a mug of tea, darkened room, and like a 3 Dark Crowns inspired playlist on Spotify, which has been great. But yeah, I'm really surprised by these, and I can't wait to finish the series and see how it ends. If it disappoints me, I'm going to be really upset, but that's fine. Next up is Frost Like Night by Sarah Rosh. So this is book 3 in the Snow Like Ashes series, and I read books 1 and 2 in December. I loved book 1, gave it 5 stars, came out of nowhere, loved it, and didn't like book 2 at all. I think I gave that one 3 stars. I was very bored, just didn't feel like there was any tension and no real development. So I'm nervous and hopeful for book 3. If it redeems the series, it's going on my favorite shelf, but if it's kind of the same as book 2, it's not going on my favorite shelf. This follows a girl named Mira and a boy named Mather, who are like some of the last survivors of a kingdom named Winter. They have like season-inspired kingdoms, and they're trying to get back their kingdom, basically. I can't say that word. The setting is really cool, and again, I loved the writing and the characters in book 1, and it just went a little downhill for me, so we'll see how this one goes. So next up is A Heart So Fierce and Broken by Bridget Kemmerer. Again, this is like the same that I said for the last 2 books, so I apologize for repeating myself. But I read A Curse So Dark and Lonely, which is the first book in this series last month, and loved it. I gave it 4.5 stars. Again, I thought it was going to be average, and it blew me away. So I'm really excited for book 2. I've heard that a lot of people like it even more. and book 3 comes out in January, and I've got it pre-ordered, so that's exciting. Kind of funny. So I pre-ordered book 3 before I had read book 1, and there's like a pre-order incentive, or you can order a pin that's like based on one of 2 kingdoms. And obviously before I read the first book, I didn't even know what the kingdoms were. Like, I'd never heard of them. I've still only heard of one of them from book 1, so I just chose the name that I liked better, and I'm very interested to see if I chose well, because I feel like that's like picking a Hogwarts house before you know anything about the Hogwarts houses. Anyway, A Curse so Dark and Lonely is a really unique Beauty and the Beast retelling. A girl named Harper who has cerebral palsy is kidnapped from Earth to a magical kingdom named Emberfall. There's a prince named Ren and a guard named Grey, and it's, you know, the same as the Beauty and the Beast curse. He has to fall in love. Chaos ensues. It was really good. I loved it. I think Beauty and the Beast retellings have been a little bit overdone, but this one was well done. And yeah, how many times can I say that I'm excited about book 2? So kind of in the vein of putting one thriller on my list, I wanted to put a historical fiction because I've been really in the mood for them lately. So I have Lovely War by Julie Berry. Hate this sticker, but it's hard to get off, so I'm going to do that later. This was inspired by Haley in Bookland. She has a huge YouTube channel, and this was her #1 favorite book of the year, and she really likes historical fiction, so I kind of trust her recommendations there. It also sounds very up my alley. So it follows 4 people during World War II. I don't know anything about them, but the story is told by the Greek gods and mostly Aphrodite. So that's the thing that kind of hooked me into being interested in this one. 2 of the book boxes are doing Greek mythology inspired boxes in January, and one of them has an item inspired by this book. So I was like, oh, gotta read it. I just realized this one is not on my list, but it's supposed to be. Maybe not. So I'm hoping to finish The Fellowship of the Ring by J.R.R. Tolkien ASAP, and if I can get through it pretty quickly, then I will read The Two Towers, but otherwise I want to read The Fellowship of the Ring, and that's on this list. I think I'll be able to finish it pretty soon, but The Two Towers is a little shorter, which is kind of nice. Still 1,000 pages? Seriously? This does not look like 1,000 pages. Oh, it's not. Okay, right. Because it's all one book, it's not technically a trilogy. The page numbers just continue from book 1. I forgot about that. I was like, what? I have these beautiful illustrated editions of Lord of the Rings, and it's a blasphemy that I've never read these, considering how much I love the movies. So, yeah, I don't know. These are kind of on my list. You get it. All right, and the last 2 books that I'm hoping to read in January, I don't have in my hands right now. The first one is Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas. I wanted to have one contemporary on here, and this is a new release coming out in January. So it's a prequel novel to The Hate You Give, and it follows Star's father, and I can't wait to get into it. I loved both of her books, and this one sounds like it's going to be amazing. I'm also hoping to read more classics in 2021, and I'm kind of starting with like children's classics because I loved Little Women, and I know that I love like The Secret Garden, etc. So I'm going to ease myself into big grown-up scary classics with The Jungle Book by Rudyard Kipling. I don't know that I've ever read this, but I've obviously seen the movie, like both the cartoon and the live action ones. So I know the story, and I ordered this very fancy Mina Lima edition. So these are these like children's classics that I'm going to start collecting. They have like interactive elements. I'll insert a picture here, but they're really beautiful, and I know that I'm going to want to read it. So it's on the list, and that'll be an easy classic to check off, hopefully. Yeah, those are all the books that I'm hoping to read in January. I'm so excited about this list, and I don't even know where I'm going to start. Probably with the Poppy War. Yeah. But I just want to read them all. Okay, that's a sign of a good TBR. So I hope you had a good New Year's and happy 2021. Thanks for watching. Bye!